What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shorty. Back with some more Arsenal chat, transfer talk. As you've probably all seen, it looks like Arsenal are going to make a signing, something to be positive about at last. Um, Mixed feelings, really. Some of you guys seem very excited about the deal. Some of you not so much. So I'm interested to know your thoughts really about this deal. Um, Most of us haven't seen him play. I think that's the truth. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen a lot of him. I saw him play against Liverpool in the Club World Cup final. Um, but I haven't seen a lot of him. I've been trying to do some research on him, as we all have. I think we're all on YouTube at the moment, looking at the highlights of this guy. How good is he? What is he about? I mean, what do we know? He's 6'3". He got in the South American Team of the Year. They won the Copa Libertadores over there in South America. At the moment, it's not done. Apparently, he started his medical this evening, and he should complete the medical tomorrow. So, I would expect an announcement for this in the next 48 hours, probably. Apparently, he's a very good ball player, very tall, good personality. But the Arsenal fans have mixed feelings about it. I've spoken to a lot of people today, and sort of 50% of people are saying, yeah, I'm happy we're getting a player in. He's very tall, apparently good on the ball. He's left-footed, 26, so experienced, but still a good age to improve. So 50% of the people are sort of looking at it from that point of view, and the other 50% are going, he's not really proven at the top level. Apparently, he's not very quick. He didn't make it at Manchester City before. He's never really played in a top European team, in terms of consistently playing. I know he was at Manchester City, but obviously didn't make a first team appearance there. Um, so very interesting. What's your thoughts? Are you happy with this signing? Are you disappointed? Would you have obviously we would have all liked to have seen an Upamecano, a Nathan Ake, a Koulibaly, but Arsenal are not going to spend big money. For me, a 26-year-old defender, very tall, something different. £7.5 million. It's not the end of the world, is it? And I hope it can work out to be a bargain. Let's see. Arsenal Vlog says, I ain't keen on this player. It's harsh. I doubt you've seen much of it. I understand your point. You probably wanted someone bigger, but The Saint says hello. Arsenal fan says hi. Marco Sousa says Van Dijk is shaking. Yeah, I don't think Van Dijk's worried about his spot as best defender in the Premier League. Um, Bob Marley 420, what's up, Curtis? I think we need him, and it's not a lot of money, so it's worth the risk. He might be bad and not have enough pace, but let's just hope. It's as simple as that, isn't it? Like, I doubt any of us have seen a lot of him unless you watch a lot of Brazilian football or maybe a Brazilian based. He seems to have a good reputation over there. A few Flamengo fans have messaged me today and said, you should be excited. He's a very good player. They don't understand why the transfer fee is so low. This, that, or the other. Manchester City had a buyback clause on him. And it seems as if they've decided against that. It looked as if City were going to activate that buyback clause in January, but from what I've read, City have decided to stick with what they've got and go for a bigger, more proven centre back in the summer. So make of that what you like. It's positive that City did want him, but on the flip side, negative that they didn't go for him. But Arteta apparently was one of the people who was keen on getting him. It's interesting that we were linked with Matvienko as well, because he is also a left-sided centre-back. So maybe this is one of the requirements that, Arteta was looking for. He wanted a left footer or a centre-back who could play on the left side of the defence. So from what I'm reading as well, the Matvienko deal, the Ukrainian centre-back, 23 years old, from Shakhtar Donetsk, that deal could still potentially happen. There was rumours coming out that Shakhtar weren't happy with the bid, but some reports today saying that they are happy with the bid, that the clubs are just negotiating. So, not impossible for us to sign too. What I will say is, it's interesting that we're going for cheaper options. I would think maybe take a chance on one of them, Pablo and Mari maybe, but to get Matvienko as well, that underwhelms me a little bit. I would like to say, okay, if you buy Pablo Mari now, 7.5 million, he can be slowly embedded into the team, and there's not as much pressure on him. But then in the summer, you go big, you buy a 40 million, 50 million Upamecano or Lewis Dunk or Koulibaly. I don't know. Koulibaly's not the most realistic. Let's be honest. He's 29, and Napoli are known for being difficult to deal with. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Are you happy with this deal? Pablo Mari, is he better than what we have? Says Edwin Smart. Arsenal Vlog says Arsenal need up a Meccano or Aki. Isaac Roberts says expensive isn't always best. Look at Maguire, 80 million, and he's absolutely horrendous. Harsh words, man. Maguire's definitely struggling. Cess22 said, is he done? From what I've heard, done bar in the medical. Apparently the fee and everything has been agreed with the club. The club have sorted out the image rights. It's a deal of around 7.5 million. Medical's underway, so barring anything popping up in the medical, this deal will happen. Taib Hussein says mixed feelings, Curtis. Yeah, I get that, but I think as Arsenal fans, we have to understand the situation we're in at the moment, right? We know about the owner. I talk about the owner in near enough every live stream that I do. We know the way this guy works. I don't agree with it. I would have loved to have seen Arteta given, there you go. There's 40 million. Go and get as a centre back. But we're looking for bargains. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't be getting on the case of the defender. I've seen some people saying already, Pablo Mari, he's rubbish. He's not good enough. At the end of the day, let's be honest. How many of us watch Brazilian football on a consistent basis? Not loads of us. The guys who do watch Brazilian football and people over there, they're saying positive things about him. So, let's see how he gets on. Give him a chance. Arsenal Vlog says, would you take Bonucci? I don't think Bonucci would come to Arsenal. Let's be honest. Tim Sear says, Pablo Mari held his own against Liverpool. He had a decent game in that game. Mr. Fish says, why do all clubs leave the transfers to the last minute? You'll be surprised, mate. A lot of these transfers open up towards the end of the window. So, you may approach a player for the start of January and that club could say, no, we're not selling him. And as the window goes on, they might suddenly need a player in a different position and they go, we haven't got the money for that. So hold on, we'll revisit that deal and sell that player. Or maybe the player, a bid's rejected, and as the month goes on, he starts sulking, he's pushing for the move, and the club, decide to let him go. You'll see a lot of deals happen over the next week in this January transfer window. It's been a terrible window so far in terms of, things happening. Masterson22 said Dortmund didn't, and look at the results. Dortmund didn't look at the results. Oh, you're talking about major spending. Sunny TV Unfiltered, man. Big up my bro, Sunny TV. Everyone check out his channel. One of the best Arsenal YouTube channels out there. I've been on there a few times. Big up, Sunny. We needed a statement signing. I wouldn't fancy surgery without a proven surgeon. Kroenke, Raul are frauds. Wow. I get your point, man. Like, you wouldn't want to go in the doctors unless you knew that doctor had a lot of experience. But the only flip side of that, Sonny, I would say, occasionally, Martinelli in the summer, you would have said, who's this guy? He's come from Brazil. He plays in, what league did he play in? Even lower. And look at him. We're raving about him now. They're talking about £50 million to get him, 100 million, whatever. So I get you. It would have been nice. A new manager, Arteta, it would have been nice to have seen Kroenke and them boys come out and say, there's the money, Arteta. Go and buy a £40 million signing and show that the ambition the club have is there. But instead, we're bargain hunting. It's difficult, man. What's the alternative? You tell me. What's the alternative? To me, I've said many times, I believe the fans have to come together and try and get the owner out. But the fan base doesn't want to do that. The Arsenal fan base is very disjointed. You look at social media, constantly arguing with each other, and this is the problem. If we work together, then maybe we could force the owners out. You've seen Liverpool do that. I've seen Dortmund when they had issues. I think that their fans threw all the tennis balls on the pitch, and you can put pressure on people, on owners. But our fan base is dysfunctional. Unfortunately, everyone has to constantly prove that their opinion is right. In football's all about opinions. And that's how football works. Two people can watch the same player and you could think he's rubbish. The other person could think he's brilliant. This is how football works. Let's have a look anyway. Bob Marley 420. We shouldn't sell Mavropanos. He could become decent. I'm not convinced by him at the moment. I'm being honest. I haven't seen enough. Sunny TV again says, keep putting the pressure on Kroenke on your channel. Same to you, bro. I'm telling you. I've said many times to a lot of these guys who've got big followings on their channels and even bigger than me, and said, why are you not mentioning Stan Kroenke? We I'm not saying me, but our fan base, went at Arsene Wenger. I think Wenger was past his best and stayed at the club maybe 4 or 5 years too long. But to protest against Arsene Wenger is very difficult. He was a club legend, even though I believe he needed to go. The same question then is, if you was willing to force out a club legend and protest and hold up banners, why are you not willing to do that for Stan Kroenke, who is ripping off fans and ripping off the club? It's a serious question, and we need to do more videos. We need to have more discussions about it, because I don't get why that isn't the case. But hey, we'll do videos on that, and I'll be prepared to get with other Arsenal YouTubers and talk about it. Deepak Rudu says Curtis has made it official. Well, pending the medical. Apparently the medical started tonight. They expect the medical to be completed tomorrow, so I'd expect an announcement by probably Monday. Tim Sear says, spot on, Curtis. Yeah, well, I'm glad you agree, mate. Anor Isaac said, any fan who likes Kroenke is a fraud. I've never met an Arsenal fan who says, I agree with that Kroenke, mate, the way he runs the club, self-sustaining model. No one agrees with it. Look at the players we've got at the club, man. Come on. Wilson Ihuana says, yo, Curtis. Yes, Wilson, what you saying? Aki Kazi said, did the transfer go through? Pending the medical, that'll be done. Bert Sade said, at the end of the season, sell El Neni, Mkhitaryan, and Mustafi. Either one of Luiz and Socrates. Mavropanos, 40-50 million for the Deadwood. Invest in a top quality centre back and centre mid. Happy days. In theory, mate, that sounds great. But who's going to buy El Neni on a permanent? Who's going to buy Mkhitaryan? I know Roma offered 8 million. We rejected it, which was strange. Mustafi, we've been trying to sell for years. Mavropanos, unless he, pulls up trees on loan, who's going to sign him as well? Arsenal Vlog said, wingers who Arsenal can sign: Adama Traore, Zaha, Mahrez, Ziyech. Well, number one, Mahrez. I don't think we've got any chance whatsoever of getting him, so I delete him off your list. Ziyech, I think, is possible. Zaha, but we know Zaha is going to cost at least 70-80 million. And the other one, Adama Traore, I think with all the hype around him at the moment, you're looking at 70-80 million for him as well. Sport Genius says, Curtis, would you take Adama Traore instead of Lemar? He's bullying defences. At the moment, yeah, I would. But as I say, Wolves are a wealthy club with the backing they've got. They're not going to let him go on the cheap. I think he would cost at least 60 million. And he's very inconsistent as well. He's on a good run of form at the moment, Traore, but we've been waiting years for this. He was at Villa. I think he was at Middlesbrough. He's just starting to perform now, so I don't see Arsenal going for Traore. Abdi says, should we go in for Ziyech? I think Ziyech is a quality player. Ziyech, Grealish, these are the players I would look at as long-term replacements for Mesut Ozil. Ozil's another one for me. In the summer, he needs to be moved on. But will be difficult. Who's going to take Ozil on 350 a week? Basil Eldo said, Upamecano is better than Ake. I like Upamecano. I think you're looking at a future French international centre back there. and I think Arsenal should be looking at him. Upamecano and Saliba, two young French centre backs, to move the club forward for the future, man. Basil Eldo says, I like how Arteta plays Ozil. Well, what is he producing? I read a stat the other day that Ozil hasn't had a shot on target since Norwich away. I mean, I don't want to bash Ozil too much, honestly, but I'm trying to be respectful. 350 grand a week, attacking midfielder, number 10, hasn't had a shot since Norwich away. I think that was Freddie Ljungberg's first game in charge. That seems like, years ago. I know it wasn't, but come on, man. Ems1 said, I want Fabian Shaw. You know what? I think he's a decent defender. The Newcastle centre back. We were actually linked with him before we signed him. Sports Genius says, before Newcastle signed him. Sports Genius says, Curtis, shout out from Chicago. We'll take Ozil here in Chicago Fire. You can have him, man. We'll send him to Chicago for you. The fans will pay for the flight. Kimani Guna, Ozil, some Jamaican dumplings coming your way. Hey, you need some hard food, man. He's soft out here, man. I'm telling you. You need some rice and peas. Alam Ali, would you go in for Dunk? Lewis Dunk, sorry. He's a good defender. I've said before, Arsenal fans are snobby at times. If his name was Luis Dunquinho and we were signing him from Brazil, he'd probably be 70 million. We'd all be happy because he plays for Brighton. He's no nonsense, not glamorous. A lot of fans don't want that, but I think that's probably what we need. Bob Marley 420 says Fabian Shaw is a good shout. Yeah, I think he's decent. I also think Lascelles at Newcastle is decent. Bugsy says, evening, brother, things are happening. Yeah, I always believed Arsenal would get one. I still think we may get another one. Let's have a look. Wilson says, Dunk or Koulibaly. I think Koulibaly is better, but I just think that's unrealistic for Arsenal at the moment. Let's have a look. African Soldier says, I think Laka can make a good 10. He has work rate and killer pass instinct. Definitely got the work rate. He can shoot from distance, killer pass. He's decent passing. I would try him in the number 10 role because I don't see what Ozil's doing there. Let's have a look. Mamadou Mbalo says, Murray and Luis sounds good to me. I think till the end of the season. Why not? Why not? We're not going to get bigger and better at this stage. Mohamed Asala said, do you think Pepe can give more or a lack of discipline will cost him? I think Pepe will get better. I do expect more from him. I think we need more end product from him. He needs to shoot more. He doesn't shoot enough. I want to see more goals from Pepe. The Saint says Pepe is fantastic. Talent, yes. Production, not enough at the moment. He needs to produce more. Tim Sear says, thoughts on Ceballos. What's happened? Why hasn't he been given a chance? There is a player in him. Arteta seemed to be questioning his fitness levels. I still think there's a player in Ceballos, and I hope he plays on Monday in the FA Cup against Bournemouth. Let's see. If he doesn't play in that game, then I don't know what's happening with him. Ems1 says, Ozil getting paid 350k to work hard when we have man who do that for 10k. Like Martinelli on 10k doing more than Ozil. Look, man, Ozil for me should be sold, but no one's going to take him. Sport Genius says, thoughts on Raul Jimenez linked to Arsenal? I think he's okay. I wouldn't. That's not somebody I'd be targeting. Taib Hussein says, Wilfred Bonny or Bafatimbi Gomez. Oh, my days. Those guys, Bonny was good at one stage. You got the big money move to Man City and then you just went downhill. Gomez used to do the Lions celebration? He always seemed to score against us when he was at Swansea. Arfan says Ziyech is better than Lemar. I'd agree with that. Vladimir Soskic says Pepe not have players in the middle who may give good pass to him. Okay, so you're saying there's not enough good players in the middle of the park to give good passes to him. I get your point. Let's have a look. Hatem Mona says, big up Curtis, enjoying the stream. Respect, appreciate everyone watching live. Everyone who watches it after as well, let me know in the comments. Are you happy with Pablo Mari? We're still being linked with Thomas Lemar as well. I said earlier today I would take Thomas Lemar on loan till the end of the season. The squad needs a boost. Look at the bench the last few games, man. We've had not a lot of quality on the bench. We need something. On loan, it's not the end of the world. In the summer, we have to spend big. Will that happen? It's not likely. Nimsy Lot, we need to loan Ozil out even if we still have to pay part of his wages. Absolutely agree with your comment there. I said this at the start of the season. You look at Man United, they signed Sanchez. In their eyes, it didn't work. We can't sell on a permanent. Get him out the door. That's what we should be doing with Mesut Ozil. Get him out. There's clubs out there who would take Ozil on loan. If you've got to pay 150 grand towards his wages, you do it, but you save yourself maybe 200 grand in wages. I'd get him out. Welcome, Pablo Murray, says Nimsy. Look, the Arsenal fans, I understand, right? We're not all jumping for joy that we've signed a 7.5 million 26-year-old from the Brazilian league. But listen, you don't know what's going to happen. Felipe, right? I don't know if you how well you know this guy, the Brazilian centre back who plays for Atletico Madrid now. Similar route. He left Portugal. He came to Portugal, sorry, from Brazil at about 25, 26. He had a big reputation in Brazil, went to Porto, established himself for a few years, played Champions League, did well, and got his big move to Atletico Madrid in the summer. So there's no reason to be so pessimistic about this deal. I understand how Arsenal fans are feeling. Yeah, maybe we should have been signing Koulibaly, Upamecano, Ake, Dunk, someone of that kind of reputation. But let's not be too down on it. This guy could be a top player. We don't know. Give him a chance. And let's be honest, we signed Mustafi for 35 million, which at that time was a fortune for a centre back. And he is terrible. One of the worst centre backs I've seen at Arsenal, honestly, in a while. Anyway, I'm not hammering him on a personal level, but he's simply not good enough. Rob Holding, for some reason, gets mad ratings, and I don't think he's that good. Callum Chambers, decent squad player, not that good. Socrates and Louise are past their best, so give Pablo Mari a chance. Zayn Miasi, big up for the super chat, says, why don't we go for Emre Can? I think we were linked with him at the start of the window. Man United were also linked with him. It seems as if Juventus changed their mind that they want to keep him till the end of the season. I think he was left out of their Champions League squad. It seemed like he was going to leave, and it looks as if they're going to keep him. Teslim Babs 81 says, Pablo Mari, loan or permanent? Everything I've heard now says that it's a permanent deal. Apparently, we've agreed the image rights with the player, because a lot of these players in South America, you have to deal with their image rights. Their agents often, own certain image rights rather than the club having them. 7.5 million deal apparently. Sky were saying it was a loan, but it's now been revealed. I think a tweet has come out from the president of Flamengo saying that this is a permanent deal. So from what I've heard, look, Sky Sports, their sources are not great, not all the time anyway. Arfan says Decore from Watford is a beast. I would like Decore, good, strong. Every time we play against him, he causes big problems. And he always seems to play well every time he plays against us, to be honest. Arsenal Alex, Curtis, you're right. None of our current centre-backs are good enough. No, I don't really rate any of them. African Soldier, big up for the super chat, man. Thank you, I appreciate that. Zayn Miasi, big up for the super chat. Can you believe it? Mustafi cost 6 Martinellis. It's the Twilight Zone, I'm telling you. Blame Ivan Gazidis, mate. This guy was a lunatic with his money towards the end. You look at Lucas Perez, you look at Mustafi, you look at Granit Xhaka, although some people love Granit Xhaka. 35 million, the fact we missed out on Kante to get him as well. Money has been wasted, man, I'm telling you. Let's have a look. Kumit the Doctor says, Grealish for Ozil. I would do that all day long. But as I said, Ozil will be very difficult to get rid of. Let's have a look. Sports Genius says, Curtis, what's up with the Arsenal fans hating on foreign fans going to games because they take pictures? Yeah, some guy, I can't remember his name, he tweeted something, and it was, I didn't like the comment, he was talking about real Arsenal and this, that, the other, and no cameras. I think you have to be a lot more open-minded than that. An Arsenal fan is a fan. If you come from abroad and you can only occasionally go to a game, even if you can't get to a game, it doesn't make anybody more of a fan. If you support that club and you care about that club, you're a fan of the club. To me, whether you go to the game or not, whether you live in London or you live on the other side of the world, we're all Arsenal. It's about having the right attitude, supporting the club, man. So forget that comment. I had no respect for that. LG92 says Curtis Lamar or Ryan Fraser both would be risked, but for different reasons. Well, Ryan Fraser's a free in the summer, so if Arsenal did want him, I'm sure they could try and get him on a free. Lamar, I think, would still probably cost around £40 million to get him. So I think Arsenal will try and get Lamar on loan. Though I actually personally think Arsenal may get Lamar in this window on loan, but let's see. Let's have a look. The Saint says I'd take loads of pictures. What's the problem? As I said, mate, the guys who made that comment, I can't remember his name, but it just seemed a very narrow-minded, comment. Big up Zayn Miasi in the chat. He said Gazidis was a bald-headed prick who liked wasting money. If that had been his money, he probably would have been more careful. Yeah, big up Zayn again with the super chat. Gazidis in the end, I just don't understand. He started using a thing called Stats DNA that they used in the MLS in America, where they often sign players based on stats, but a lot of the stats were secondary. Like I heard a stat that El Neni had completed a ridiculous amount of passes. But that doesn't mean you're a great midfielder. Those passes could have been backwards and sideways. So you can tell he's not a football man, he's a businessman. Billy Schmidt says, yo, Curtis, big up Billy, man. I always see you supporting in the comments. Arsenal vlogs, if you can name any ex-Arsenal players who currently play now, would you take anyone back and why? I would take Serge Gnabry back. I always felt like there was a player in him. And, when I saw him tear up Tottenham in the Champions League, on that right wing, he could have been lethal for us, honestly. Billy says Martinelli, the new Anelka. A lot of people have said Anelka. I was saying Luis Suarez, but yeah, people have said. The Saint says braces are alive and well in 2020. Well, so unfortunately, this is some people's attitude in the world, man. And it's a shame. Andre Harper, yes, Curtis, big up yourself. Arsenal all day, 32 years and counting. Yeah, man, that's what it is, man. Support the club, get behind the club, man. We'll get back to where we need to be. It might take a little while, and we might have to, put some pressure on these owners, man. They can't keep getting away with this. Big up Zayn Miasi in the super chat. Will you get the suntanned fool Simon Jordan on your channel? It'll be hard to get him on, man. I'd love to get him on because a lot of the things he said, I'd love to question him on. O'Dane Cooper said Fraser's not good enough. Yeah, I think we should be aiming high up, but it wouldn't surprise me on a free if Arsenal went for him. Tim Sear says Martinelli's the new Alexis. I think Martinelli will end up as a striker, to be honest. I don't think he'll be a winger. Arsenal Vlog says Santi and Fabregas. If you could move them back to their prime, there's no doubt about it, Arsenal Vlogs. Big up Arsenal Vlogs as well. Everyone check out his channel. Santi and Fabregas, for me, two of the best ball-playing centre mids I've ever seen at Arsenal. Obviously now they're both past their best. I think, they're coming to the end of their career. AM78 says, big up, bro. Take Lemar on loan till the end of the season. If no good, go back for Zaha in the summer. Totally agree. I know for a fact that Zaha was desperate to come to Arsenal in the summer, and I think he still would like to come to Arsenal. No harm in taking Lemar on loan as far as I'm concerned. Personally, I would actually play him number 10 as well. I've seen him play 10 a few times, and he does look good there. Abdi says, thoughts on Ceballos wanting to leave? You can't blame him. The guy is not getting game time. It's the Euros this summer. Why is he going to... He's been sitting on Real Madrid's bench, and now he's sitting on Arsenal's bench. It doesn't make sense. Big up Zayn Miasi in the super chat. He says, do you think Ty will ever get a statue of himself in all his Arsenal gear outside the Emirates holding his water bottle? Well, he's an AFTV legend anyway, I'm sure. You can buy AFTV merchandise with Ty's face on. So, he's already a legend in some circles anyway. Big up Ty, man. Every time, man. Ty's a top guy. And the King says you can play Zaha as a 10. I think he's better out wide, though. I don't think he likes space. He likes to isolate defenders. It's hard to do that in the 10. Arsenal vlogs. Which replacement do you feel you can replace Ozil? I'd like Grealish. I'd like Ziyech. I think both of them are very gettable for Arsenal. Um, let's have a look. African Soldier said I'd take Carlos Vela back in a heartbeat. Definitely talented. I always thought he had talent when he was at Arsenal. He seemed a little bit lightweight, but he's been tearing it up in the MLS, Carlos Vela. Let's have a look. Billy Smith says, "You're okay, Curtis. I'm knocking on 50. Respect your view. Well put together, bruv. Keep up the good work." Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Billy. Sorry, mate. The comments are flying up. It went off the screen quick. The Saint said Zaha is a street baller. Not sure Arteta would rate him. Thing is, Arteta was extremely complimentary of him in the press conference before we played Palace, and I thought, wow, he really went in on how much he rates him. Leon Hyman said Lacazette in the 10 or Grealish if we buy. Yeah, I think Lacazette, we need to try him in that 10 role. Mr. Fish says, what do you think of Milinkovic-Savic? He's a beast on FIFA, I tell you that much. In real life, I'm not so sure. He's very, he's big, he's strong, he's decent on the ball. He's a bit slow, but he's good. But they want crazy money for him. I think they were asking for 90 million euros. O'Dane Cooper said Carrasco in a heartbeat. I mean, reports are he's going to Crystal Palace. Zayn Miasi, big up on the super chat, said I think Ozil is finished and we should be looking to replace him ASAP. I think we should have got rid of him in the summer. I would imagine that Emery tried to move him on because Emery clearly didn't like Mesut Ozil. But again, I don't believe that anybody really desperately wanted Mesut Ozil. I think you could get him out on loan if we paid part of his wages. But if we were going to, try and get him out on a permanent deal, I don't see anybody buying Mesut Ozil. And why would you? No disrespect. He's past his best. I think his legs have gone. 1 assist this season, no goals. He hasn't had a shot on target since Norwich away. It's not the most attractive proposition. 350 grand a week. Akakazi said Allen would be a good signing. Is that Allen, the centre midfielder for Napoli? Good player, very good player. He was linked with PSG last season, but I think they wanted big money for him. Zayn Miasi in the super chat said I would have Sanchez back and not Ozil. Yeah, Sanchez, them days are done, mate. Personally, Sanchez was, one of my favourite players at Arsenal. I absolutely loved watching him play when he was at Arsenal. He went Man United for the money and it flopped, and he's in Italy now, unfortunately. Inter Milan are one of the favourites for the Europa League, so it wouldn't surprise me if we end up playing him. Of course, they got Lukaku. They've signed Ashley Young. They've signed Victor Moses. They're getting Ericsson as well, so they're going to have a strong team. Premier League players, a lot of Prem players when we play them. Adam Geiger Jr., would you do Torreira plus cash for Fabian Luiz with Napoli? That Fabian Luiz, I honestly haven't seen enough of him. And I think at the moment, Torreira's playing well. Stephen Forey says, Samari would be the perfect replacement for Guendouzi. That Samari looks good, man. I mean, I haven't seen enough of him, but he reminds me of Pogba. He's a good player, man. Karokwa Aloysius said, instead of taking Aubameyang to Barca, why don't Arteta sell Laka? Because it's like he is out of service. There's got to be a want for him, hasn't there? I think Aubameyang is the one that they will want because he scores goals. Zayn Miasi in the super chat, why don't we go for Bruno Fernandes? That would give Mark Goldbridge a meltdown. Oh my days, he's been talking about Bruno Fernandes for a while. It seems Man United they're trying to hustle over the price, which they don't usually do that. Usually when Man United want a player, they just pay it. But this time, but they've got their own problems, man. I'm not worried about them. It's always good to see Goldbridge have a meltdown. He's funny, man. Funny guy. Big up Goldbridge. Let's have a look. Nigel McIntosh. I would take Ziyech any day. Very good player, Ziyech, man. I can't believe no one's activated his release clause. Sports Genius Curtis, thanks for reading our comments, bro. It means a lot to the subscribers. Oh, damn, man, it's nothing. Listen, I subscribe to channels as well, and I think you've got to interact with the people who are supporting your channel. That's what it's all about, man. It's good when you support a channel and the person interacts and reads out your comments and talks, man. I read everyone's comments, and even in the videos afterwards, I read all the comments, and that's a good thing when your channel is slowly growing and you're building. You get to know the names. I recognize some of these names now, so you get a little understanding of what they, the players they like and that, man. So big up everyone supporting the channel. If you haven't subscribed already as well, keep subscribing to the channel, man. I appreciate everyone's help. Let's have a look. Kumit the Doctor says we need a proper strong midfielder in order to let Pepe, Laka, and Aubameyang do what they do. Yeah, we definitely need a powerhouse. Arfan says Samari, he could be that guy as well. Nimsy Lot says Kroenke, out, out, out. Listen, man, he's got to go in the summer. He should have gone already, but I think in the summer we've really got to apply the pressure. Let's have a look. LG92 says Curtis equals best fan off AFTV. Reason I'm subscribed. Appreciate that, bro. There's a lot of good people on AFTV, so big up everyone doing their thing as well. Zayn Miyasi said, do you think Stan Collymore would have been good for us? I tell you what, he was a great striker in his day. Anybody old enough to have seen him, or even if you haven't, man, look at him on YouTube. He was a fantastic striker at Nottingham Forest and at Liverpool. Stan Collymore. O'Dane Cooper said, is Mustafi out yet? Listen, man, we can't get him out the door, bro. I thought he was gone this window. Let's have a look. DJK said, do you think Murray will solve our defensive problems? I don't think he solves it. Even if he's good, I don't think he solves it. But I think he helps it. I hope. I'm being optimistic. I haven't seen enough of the guy. 3 days ago, I didn't really know nothing about him. So, Arsenal Vlog says, my dream is to go to YouTube space to do videos there, Curtis. Listen, man, I'm sure one day, I believe your channel has to be at 10,000 subscribers and then you can book a room at YouTube space. But if you can get on somebody else's channel who's got 10,000 and maybe they have you on there as a guest, then I'm sure, you'll get there, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, Arsenal Vlogs, man. You're putting out good content as well. Azizul Muzamil said, is Murray a loan or transfer? From what I've heard, is a permanent deal. Sky were reporting that it was a loan, but I believe it will be a transfer. Hacks27 said, is it confirmed by Arsenal? No, but I expect it to be done in the next 48 hours. Mr. Fish says, is Chilwell overrated? Ben Chilwell, I think he's a good left back, I really do rate him. I think he's a good player. Is he England's #1 left back now? I think he actually is. So he's good, man. Ryan Williams, AFC. My guy Curtis, what can I do to make my channel better? What I would say, always keep your audio good. If you can't hear the people, that always puts people off. And just put out content, man. Speak from the heart. Try and make your camera, whatever, as good as possible. And you'll get there eventually. Zayn Miyasi in the super chat. Do you think English players are overrated? Apart from Sterling, I don't think we have any world-class players. I mean, what English players are world-class? So Zane's saying Sterling is the only world-class player. I suppose you could have an argument for Harry Kane if you look at his goal record. Personally, I don't think Kane is world-class. I think he's an elite goal scorer. But when it comes to the crunch, I think he often goes missing. But hey, that's opinion. Some people say Kane is world class. I think Sancho and Rashford are probably capable of becoming world class, but whether they do or not, I don't know. Billy Schmidt says, what do you know about Dial Square? Yeah, so apparently a group of Arsenal fans want to start a new club called Dial Square, which is what Arsenal were kind of known as a long time ago. And, they want to start in the lower leagues and build back up because they're not happy with the way Arsenal's being ran. So that's interesting. I haven't read too much about that. The Saint says, Trent Alexander-Arnold, good point. He is a superb right back. Coming to think about it, I mean, there ain't many better right backs in world football than Trent. especially not attacking wise. Maybe defensively he's not the best, but he's decent. Enzo Mark said, like the way you deliver. Big up, Curtis. Respect, Enzo. Appreciate that. Zayn Miasi, big up in the super chat, says, will you get Bully and Ty on your channel? Bully, I honestly haven't seen for a while. A long, long time, in fact. Ty will be on my channel at some stage, no doubt. I see him quite often at the AFTV office, and so I'll get Ty on my channel in the future for a video. Edwin Smart said, would you play Mari with Louise? Personally, I would. Yeah, I think that's where we should go. Chim Onukwafar said, Curtis, I love you. Yes, Sancho and Rashford. Yeah, I believe them two will definitely become world class. I think they're both young superstars. Billy Schmidt said, I'm out. Blessed. Take care, bro. Have a good weekend. Zayn Miasi said, Trent Alexander and Sterling only world class. Big up Zayn in the super chat. Yeah, Trent Alexander, you could definitely say he's world class. He's one of the best right backs in the world now, no doubt. Dane Cooper says, Coman from Bayern. Yeah, we were linked with him a few times. He's very, very quick. I'm not too sure how good he is, really. Scania V8 Power said, all right, Curtis, evening, fella, and love your channel and proper respect. Oh, sorry, mate, it's gone off. Oh, dear me. It goes so quick on here. Sometimes you miss certain ones. Troy Jarvis, respect to you, Curtis. Your subs are gaining momentum, brother. I can't do it without you guys supporting, man. Keep subscribing to the channel, man. We'll get where we need to get to, man. Vinyl London, why get Ty? He's not all there now, man. Don't be disrespectful. Ty is a very intelligent guy, man, I'm telling you. Sometimes his opinion is overly positive, but he knows his stuff, I'm telling you. And he's a top guy as well, man. Very, very respectful, very polite. I got a lot of respect for Ty. Joe Kawhi, Curtis, my striker. What do you think about Mari and Saliba duo? Yeah, that could be the partnership, man. If this Mari comes in and hits the ground running, that could be what we get next season. He plays on the left, gets Saliba on the right, and we go again. Marco Souza, we're Arsenal Football Club, and we haven't got a single England regular. Yeah, that's disappointing. I always liked having like an English regular in the team. Like, we had Jack Wilshere. Obviously, we had Ian Wright back in the day. Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, we've had Dixon, Winterburn, even Danny Welbeck was a regular. Sport Genius and Curtis is going to be the next Robbie. Oh, big up Robbie, man. Big up Don Robbie, man. That's my boy. Appreciate all the support he gives as well. Do you think Murray will arrive in time for the Bournemouth game, says Bob Marley 420? They may sign him, but he won't play. Zayn Miasi says, before you play Chelsea, would you get the Chelsea fan Ben who had an argument with Ty on your channel? I'm not even too sure who that guy is, Big up Zayn in the super chat anyway. Let's have a look. Brandon, which centre back would you want in the summer? I'd like Upamecano. I'd also take Lewis Dunk. I honestly think he's a rock solid defender. The type of no-nonsense centre back that we need. I would take Koulibaly if you could get him cheap, but I think he'd be too expensive. Ryan Williams AFC, Curtis, your thoughts on Louis' red card? Was it a red? I had this conversation with a few people because I was told that if it wasn't violent conduct and they get a penalty, that you're not supposed to be sent off. It was now reduced to a yellow card. So I don't understand that rule and how that works, to be honest. Really don't get that. Zach KFC says, thoughts on Lemar? I would take him on loan. I personally think that it's probably 50-50. We might get him in this window on loan, which I would be quite happy with personally. Alex Hall, loving your channel, Curtis. Keep pumping out the great content, my man. Respect, Alex, man. Appreciate the support. Andrew Bland, how much would Upamecano be worth? In the summer, I believe he's got a year left. So I think maybe 50 million, which I don't think is too bad for a young guy who I think will end up being a French international. Neil Salesman said, Kanate or Upamecano for the summer. Yeah, some people say this Kanate is better than Upamecano. I was led to believe Upamecano was the better one, but I have heard that opinion. Mr. J84J says, Curtis, I loved your interview with Kevin Campbell. Please try and get him and Ian Wright on the show together. Listen, man, I want Ian Wright on the channel. My aim before the end of this season is to get Wrighty on my channel. Obviously, if I can get Kevin Campbell with him as well. Big up Kevin Campbell, man. Really appreciate him coming on. was great to interview him. Respect to his son as well, who's just signed a new 4.5 year contract. He plays for Stoke City, so respect to him. But yeah, look out for the channel, man. I'm trying to get Ian right on there. Let's have a look. Vinyl London, what clubs did you play for? Yeovil, Mansfield, Kidderminster, Tamworth. Was at Notts County for a little bit, short time, Lots of different clubs, mate. I'm going to do videos about my own professional career at a later date. I'll get into that. Oliad Kumpsa said, big fan from Ethiopia. Big up, man. Appreciate so it's amazing that you can interact with people from around the world, and this is what I love. I just want to talk football, be positive. Let's see what Arsenal are doing. Let's have a look. Ryan Williams said, you should, Curtis. Give us a history lesson on you, bro. Yeah, I'll do the video, man. No problem. I will make a video on my own. If people are interested, I'll make a video about my own professional career. Andrew Bland, did you ever have a FIFA card? I believe so. In one of the old FIFAs. I'll have a look. I'll try and find a picture. I know I was on Football Manager. I think I'm still on Football Manager if you download the full database, because obviously I'll be out of contract now, but I think you can still get me on there. The Saint Curtis, is DT's son good enough for pro? Possibly. I think he's only like 19, so he's got time. If he can develop, there's always a chance. Craig Brandt, evening all. Love AFTV out in South Africa. Big up, man. Respect. Stuart Snedden, Tyrese Campbell should have come to us. The famous Glasgow Rangers. We offered him league titles in Europa League. No ambition staying down in England. Wow, I didn't know Rangers were in for him. Must have been a difficult decision to reject Rangers, especially with Gerrard there. Abdi says, big fan from Canada, great content. Big up, Abdi, man. Views from the 6. I was in Canada in 2015, Toronto. Great place, man. It all turns to dust. Lagos, Nigeria here. Big up, man. Respect everyone in Nigeria. Respect everyone supporting. Azizul Muzamil said, when's Blood Brothers season 3 coming out? I believe pre-season starts in April, so you'll start getting episodes from like the end of April. Bob Marley 420 said, Curtis on FIFA, you should be an icon. I wish, mate. I appreciate that. Pablo Morganite, big up Curtis. Not sure what this player is saying, but he's 26 with time on his side. With Arteta at the helm, he will have the chance to improve and potentially have a good career and resale value. Yeah, man, be patient with him. Give him a chance. We can't write him off before we've even been there. Abdi says Toronto. Yeah, I was in Toronto. Great city, man. Big Jamaican community in Toronto. I had some nice food over there as well. Great city, man. I really enjoyed it. Shantanu said Santi Cazorla on loan. Oh, mate, he got everyone talking with his comments the other day. T03034 said, big up from Bangladesh. It's 4 a.m. Wow, I appreciate that support, man. Let's have a look. Zlatko Foric said, nice, we got Bruno Fernandes lookalike centre-back. Goldbridge is fuming. So people are saying that this Murray looks like Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, Goldbridge is having meltdowns. Mohamed Asila said, Arsenal fans from Morocco like you a lot. We talked about you a lot, man. Keep up. Respect, man. I appreciate that, man. It's amazing that people around the world support the channel when you just start, the channel in your house or whatever. Leon Hyman said, Jamaican Gooner, what's the connection for you, Curtis? Yeah, I love Arsenal, man. Obviously, I've got Jamaican background as well. Again, that's part of my football story as well, man. I actually played for Jamaica at a young age, the under-20s. Again, I'll do a video about my career, man, and the crazy journey and path that it's led to. Let's have a look. Marco Souza, if Alba goes, get Curtis on a 6-month loan deal from AFTV with an option to buy. Arsenal probably wouldn't have the money, man. Expensive Minds, don't you think Lemar would slot in beautifully into the group? Part of the French connection. I do. Apparently he's good friends with Lacazette as well. Ryan Williams, Curtis, when did you start supporting Arsenal and who was your guy back then? I'll be honest with you, right, he was the guy that made me support Arsenal, man. I was a young striker growing up. I loved his personality, and he used to celebrate in front of fans. I'll be honest with you as well. One of my favourite Arsenal players is Nicolas Anelka, and people don't talk about this guy a lot. I was really like disappointed when we sold this guy. I felt like Anelka was an amazing player, and we sold him very quick, man. So, and then obviously Thierry and Bergkamp as well. I loved Bergkamp, so many players, but the first one was Ian Wright, definitely. Ooh, Marco Souza says prime Robin van Persie or Alexis. Wow, that is a difficult question. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go for Alexis Sanchez because I feel like we got more out of him. RVP gave us maybe a good 18 months. The rest of the time he was injured. I think Sanchez carried our team for 3 years, and he won games by himself a lot of the time. Stan Kroenke said RVP all day. He was magic, but I definitely go for Alexis Sanchez, man. Sanchez, I was a big, big fan of him. Arsenal Forever said, I named my son after Ian Wright. Wow. Wright, man, legend, one of the best. And the way he supports Arsenal as well, he's still heavily involved in the club. Ben said RVP or Aubameyang. That is a tough one. I think if you're talking about all-round ability, you've got to be honest, Van Persie is better. But Aubameyang's a better goal scorer, so make of that what you wish. Aubameyang better goal scorer, Van Persie better all-round player. Tank 354 said choice between two snakes, the pain. Yeah, you're talking about Van Persie and Sanchez. Both went to Man United, man. Unbelievable. When would you ever see Man United's top player going to Arsenal? It wouldn't happen. Was Sanchez like Hazard at Chelsea, carried the team? Yeah, I'd say he did. Sanchez was incredible at Arsenal. Hazard equally. It just shows sometimes, though, when they leave, they're not quite the same player. All right, so we're getting questions in here. Teslim Babs 81 says Bellerin or Sanya. I'd say Bakary Sanya was better. Definitely defensively. Yeah, I'd go for Sanya. I think he was better than Bellerin. If you want to throw questions in, I don't mind. I like them type of questions. Ben says we only get United's rejects, innit, man? Like we took Silvestro and Danny Welbeck, and they take Van Persie and Alexis Sanchez. It's crazy. Ryan Williams says Nasri or Haleb. For me, it's Nasri, man. I think he could have gone to the top if he stayed at Arsenal. Chim on Nukwa 4 said Sterling or Son. Whew, that is a tough one because I'm going to go for Sterling. I think Son's got more ability than Sterling, but Sterling produces on a more consistent basis. Mr. J84 said, what's your opinion on Gabriel Barbosa? Is that Gabby goal, is it? He came to Inter Milan, had a massive reputation. Didn't really happen. I know he's back in Brazil. He's doing well there now, so maybe he'll come back to Europe. Let's have a look. Can't believe Man U stole Cristiano Ronaldo from us at the last minute. Wow, I know. It was amazing when he was on Piers Morgan, and we could have actually got him when we didn't have the money. If someone was in Man City, you'd say him, says Damien Bell, possibly, because if he was at Man City, I think he'd be incredible. Tottenham probably hold him back. Big up Zayn Miasi with the super chat, man. I really appreciate the support, man. All this is going to go into the channel. He says, can you imagine if the Brazilian Ronaldo had played in the Premiership and for Arsenal, London is red? Big up Zayn for the support. Listen, Brazilian Ronaldo, R9, my favourite player of all time. I just think he would have been the greatest player ever if it wasn't for the injuries. He's still my favourite player ever anyway. Arsenal Forever said Gervinho or Bentner. Wow, that is difficult because they were both... Bentner scored some important goals, man. Gervinho, I'll go for Bentner. Honestly, I think he scored a header once. Was it against Tottenham? It was a really important goal, man. The Saint says Adams or Laporte. It's got to be Tony Adams, man. Laporte's got a long way to go before he reaches them times. Let's have a look. Zlatko Forich says Zayn Miasi, the new Arsenal owner. Big up Zayn, man. Always supporting. Gunner Forever said, Curtis, your opinion on Hakim Ziyech? Very, very good player. I'm shocked that no one signed him, and I would like Arsenal to sign him. Let's have a look. Bahari Haruna said, do you believe we can finish top four? Not this season, in my opinion. Tamark Jordine said, big up the Jamaican Gooners. All day, every day. Kingston, Jamaica. Halfway tree. You know what it is, mate. Gunner Forever said, Curtis, your opinion on Ziyech? Yeah, as I said, brilliant player. Leon Hyman, yeah, R9, greatest ever complete forward. The guy was just a machine. Chim said, Samuel Eto'o or Henry? I'm going Henry, Arsenal legend. Cazorla or Fabregas? Oh, that's a tough one. I'm going to go for... wow, that is hard. I'm going to go for Fabregas. Scored goals as well. Yeah, I'll go for Fabregas. I think he performed for longer. As much as I think Cazorla was a genius, Fabregas in the team from 16. Remember that performance against Patrick Vieira when he was at Juventus at Highbury, man. It was phenomenal. So yeah, who hurt more, Cesc or RVP? I'm with Cesc. I grew up with him. I started supporting. You know what? I was more hurt when Van Persie went to Man United. Because I genuinely believed that Fabregas would come back. Sorry, my computer switched off, so I've got to read the comments on here. Big up Zane in the super chat again. He said, if Arteta had not joined, who do you think we would have got? I like the Wolves manager. Nuno Santo. I think we were looking for cheap options, I'll be honest. Zamat Masani said, big up my brother, good work, Gunners for life, I appreciate that. We may be taking Man United's rejects, but let's not forget Martinelli was rejected by United. Mohamed Asila said, can Spurs finish above us this season? We've still got a chance of catching Spurs, man. I don't think they're anything special this season. I still think that we can catch them. Who had a greater impact on the team, Adebayor or Van Persie? I'd go for Van Persie, man. Adebayor was very much an individual. I don't think he would really play for... Do you think we can win the Europa League, says Buhari Haruna? I think we can. I think we are like a cup team at the moment anyway. Gunner Forever, should we cash in on Aubameyang while we can? If he doesn't extend his contract, sell him in the summer, I would say. Timothy Paul, maybe 8 or 6 blazing Paul in Bermuda, Gunners for life. Big up all the Gooners in Bermuda. Great part of the world. Leon Hyman, what's the one player you take out of the current Spurs squad? Honestly, I'll go for Song. Even though I should be realistic and say a centre back because they've got a couple decent defenders, but I'm a big fan of Heung-min Song, man. I really do rate that guy. He rips us apart as well. Big up Zayn Miasi again in the super chat. I really appreciate your support, mate. Rivalry aside, it's sad. It's sad West Ham and Spurs and us have lost our atmospheric stadiums. This is how football is going now, isn't it? Like, it's only really Liverpool who've kept that old stadium in the atmosphere. The big ground and being far away from the stadium, it just hammers the atmosphere at these grounds. Mizzy Miz says, big up yourself, Curtis, by the way. I appreciate that, man. Respect. Prediction against Bournemouth on Monday, says Sebastian J. Brooks. I'm going for a 2-1 win. Damien Bell says, Upton Park is a huge loss. I think it's a huge loss for all football. Arsenal Alex says, I would bring back Highbury. I miss Highbury, man. Ben says, Emirates is terrible. It's a museum, basically. We go in there to watch a show and we go. Biggest Snake says, Teslim Babs 81. Ashley Cole, RVP, Adebayor, Nasri Sanchez. I'll go Adebayor. I think he was a scumbag. Sunny TV, big up. He says, bro, we need to strengthen the midfield. That's our biggest weakness. Totally agree. Midfield basically doesn't protect the back four and doesn't provide for the strikers. I don't particularly rate any midfielder at Arsenal. I think Torreira's decent. He gets about. I think Xhaka, I don't think he's the answer. I would sell Xhaka in the summer. And Ozil, I think, past it. And Ceballos, I don't think we'll sign him permanently. Sunny TV says, hit the like button, people. Big up Sunny TV, man. Everyone check out his channel, subscribe to his channel. One of the best Arsenal podcasts out there for all you guys who like Arsenal and like talking Arsenal. Sunny is always welcoming people on his show. So big up Sunny. Ben AFC 13 says, hi Curtis, greetings from Australia. How you been, mate? All good at the moment. I'm sure Arsenal will change things on Monday. They'll probably stress us all out. Marco Sousa says, do you rate Willock? I'm not sure, at the start of the season, I thought he was decent. At the moment, I'm really not sure. Ryan Williams AFC says, trust Sonny is the guy. Yeah, man, Sonny's a top man. Sese 22, who's the player you want most this January? Who would I really like Arsenal to sign? Thomas Partey, that's who I'd like. I think he's a beast centre mid. Teslim Babs 81, most underrated player at Arsenal. Most underrated player at Arsenal is probably, do you know what? I would say Aubameyang. And the reason I say that, you'll probably think Aubameyang, he gets a lot of ratings. I think this guy is a superstar. I think he carries this Arsenal team with minimal service. And I don't know how he got the Golden Boot winner in the Premier League last year because the service was poor. This year, I think before he got suspended, he was second top goal scorer in the league. And I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. Let's have a look. Neil Salesman said, we need Thomas Partey and Samara in our midfield. We definitely need power. Mr. J84 said, I have to disagree. Adebayo was lied to by the biggest snake of them all, AEW. Ooh, that's harsh if you're talking about Wenger there, I'm assuming. Sinbox said, agree with the underrated comment. Trust me, man, Aubameyang does not get embraced by this fan base, He's not, I actually think the fans show more respect and stuff to Mesut Ozil than they do to Aubameyang. And this guy carries us. I've heard a lot of people say they'd sell him. Sonny says mid-table squad, and that's where we are. Agreed, mate. The fanboy culture, unfortunately, has overtaken at Arsenal, and that's led to our demise because players who aren't good enough are being raved about and rated. Granit Xhaka's got a big fan base as well. And I really don't know why, because he's not that good. Aki Kazi said, yeah, Aubameyang is a world-class player with a good personality, and, I think Aubameyang's quality. Gunnar said, Leno is the most underrated player. Most underrated goalkeeper in the league. Yeah, he's good. MR said, brother Curtis, sorry, hold on. Who, in your opinion, are the mediocre players? Boy, let's be honest, right? Hector Bellerin isn't great defensively, and he isn't great attacking, although he scored a great goal the other day. He's nothing special. Kolasinac, he's nothing special, especially defensively. Socrates and Luiz are past their best. Holding is overrated. I don't think he's anything special. Chambers as well. They're both average. They could easily play for Watford or Burnley or someone like that. They would actually struggle to probably get in Burnley's team. Xhaka, I think, is average. I don't think he's ideally suited in the Prem. Ozil's past it. Nelson hasn't stepped up yet. Willock hasn't stepped up. I like Saka. I think he's got a bright future. Mavropanos is bang average as well. Lacazette could possibly be sold. He's got to start scoring goals. Martinelli is potentially a superstar. Aubameyang is a superstar. So, and Leno's a very good goalkeeper, needs a better defence. So there you go. Our squad isn't that good, really. Zayn Miasi, big up with the super chat. He said, Harry Maguire is United's worst signing. Do you agree? £80 million. He's been shocking. People criticised, Lukaku, but I think he scored 20 in all competition when they paid 70 million. You look at Pogba, he gets a lot of stick. He got 15 goals last year and was top goal scorer. Our midfielders should also focus on penetration. I'm assuming you mean goals, mate. Like Rosicky and Wilshere. Yeah, we miss them type of players, man. Abu said, how many of our players would start for other top 6 clubs? Leno, Aubameyang, Martinelli. Probably right. Lum Burkamp said, "Hi Curtis, do you think Murray will go straight into playing Premier League games, or will he hardly play like we do with most signings?" Someone messaged me today saying that the Brazilian league finished a few weeks ago. So if he hasn't played games for a while, he's not going to be fully fit at the moment, which is, strange. How are we going to? It'll probably take a few weeks before he gets in. Ceci22 said, "I also think Thomas Partey would be amazing. I really rate that guy." Benny said, "I love Leno, but his distribution is zero. He needs that Barca training. His kicking is poor." Stan Kroenke said, "Ndidi or Flamini?" I like Ndidi, man. I think he's a tank. Zayn Miassi said, "Thanks, Sonny." I saw Sonny shouting out Zayn. Big up Zayn, man. Lots of support from him. He supports a lot of Arsenal YouTube channels, man, and it's appreciated. I'm sure the other guys appreciated it, and people put that money into improving their channel, giving you guys better content. If only you can bring back one with our current situation, would it be Sol Campbell or Vieira? That's from Tesleen Babs81. It's Vieira for me, mate. The skipper, he had everything. And to be honest, we haven't got close to replacing Patrick Vieira since he left the club. We have no physical presence in midfield, and it's something we've really missed since he left. He was the ultimate leader and the ultimate captain. Big up everyone in the comments tonight. I really appreciate all your interaction. Everyone who hasn't, get subscribing to the channel, chasing that 10k, man. Maybe even more by the end of the season if I get the support. Big up Sunny TV Unfiltered. Go and support his channel. Zayn Miassi with the last super chat. Do you think Kroenke hides all the money under his wig? Oh my days. I don't even think Stan Kroenke, I don't know what to make of that guy, to be honest. He's a waste, man. Let's get him out. Big up Zayn for the support tonight. As I said, everyone check out Sunny TV Unfiltered, one of the best Arsenal YouTubers out there. Channel's growing nicely as well. Big up Arsenal Vlogs. Big up everyone who's been supporting. Lots of great comments tonight. Appreciate it. Everyone who hasn't, get subscribing. And I'll be back tomorrow with more transfer talk, and I'll probably do another live stream tomorrow. Actually, we'll do the preview of the Bournemouth game. Thanks for all your support, everyone. Take care. Have a good weekend. Bless.